Good afternoon, everyone. Can everyone hear me? Okay, fantastic. I've got a signal that we can start. Great, so everybody, today we're going to do the first of three webinars actually that center around marketing automation. Right, so this is how to make your services offer too good to resist. And today I'm representing Enxoo. So I work as a marketing automation consultant at Enxoo and centered around Pardot, but we also do Marketing Cloud as well. But overall, Enxoo is a Salesforce Platinum partner that we focus on digital transformation. So we help companies make that digital transformation using Salesforce technology. For those of you who aren't familiar with Salesforce, they're the world's leading CRM platform, and they've been voted the most innovative company for a few years in a row. So we're very lucky to be working with this technology. We work with the technology across marketing, sales, multi-channel customer service, and other communications such as portals and communities. But we're only scraping the surface here, really. And our partner, Active Pharma, is also centered around marketing, but they do content displays. For example, two use cases I can give you is if you're a field sales rep and you want to display content dynamically, you can switch up what's displayed from your content portfolio in the field. Another example that they do is if someone is interacting with their content, you can take them on a different content journey as well. So this is what's happening in today's webinar. First of all, I'm going to cover over what is dynamic content and a few benefits of it. Then we're going to introduce CityServe, our demo company, and do a quick overview of the prospect journey so that you understand what's happening in the demo. Then we'll jump into the demo. Afterwards, I'm going to show you what's happening in the back end, the automations and the other features you need in conjunction with dynamic content to make it seamless. And then we'll also cover how to get the most out of dynamic content with Pardot. So what is dynamic content and why should you use it? Dynamic content, to explain it simply, allows you to display HTML content dependent on the data in a prospect's field value. So a prospect in Pardot is a person record. And in each record, we have fields which contain data. And dynamic content will display different variations depending on the different values that are in that field. But this will become clearer later. The first benefit is personalization. And this is a really hot topic at the moment in marketing automation as more and more companies cotton on to the power of personalization. So this is making sure that offers match whatever interests a prospect shows in order to increase their conversion and the likeliness of brand engagement. I think there was a fact I saw the other day that 74% of browsing prospects expect that content should be tailored according to what they've seen or indicated their interest in. I think this just shows that it's no longer a nice to have, it's an expectation. Next, for you personally, dynamic content is great because it simplifies creating content. This is because you can display multiple variations of something without having to copy and replicate the actual asset. This is really great if you're working with multiple languages, as pretty much all marketers are these days. Next, it saves time because dynamic content can be applied instantly and you can edit it with clicks, not code. So you don't need to know HTML or Java to implement it, because it's click and select inside of Pardot. So just to readdress what I said earlier, there are two components of dynamic content. First of all is the field name that the content variations depend on. And then the second part is the actual variation itself and the value. So, and the corresponding value and the corresponding content that will be displayed per variation. Now we have CityServe. So CityServe is a little thing I created, and they specialize in premium food service and quality catering. They have 3 different offerings to offices, corporate events, and weddings. So one's more B2B and the other's more B2C. And what you'll see today, a quick overview of the prospect journey. So the first day I'm at work and I've been tasked with gathering information for a new office supplier. So I'm looking at office catering. I fill in my details and submit the contact form. The second week, I'm browsing at home for wedding catering. So I want to submit the form again so that I can be contacted on my personal email address. And then there's a couple of other scenarios as well. What happens when I look at wedding catering on my lunch break at work? Or when there's no value? So it's time to jump into the demo. Just bear with me for 1 second, please. So here we are on CityServe's homepage. And of course, this is just for demo purposes only. But as we can see, we've got their product offerings here. So we're going to go to offices. I'm going to visit this page. Okay, great. This is what we want. They make recurring orders easily. This is fine. Let's contact them. So now I'm going to enter my details. Okay, great. So my details have been submitted and they're going to contact me shortly. And actually, the email's already come through. Okay, great. So they've personalized it. And I've now been assigned a sales rep at CityServe. And because they know I was interested in office catering, they've actually included a tasty 20% offer as well in the email. So this is personalizing the email here. So then I'm going to be at home browsing the web for weddings. And yes, again, I'm going to contact them. But this time, I want to be called Lucinda. So contact me. And now the email has changed to catering for weddings. And actually, they're including a midnight buffet as well, which sounds pretty good because that's what every wedding needs. So now, what if I was browsing for wedding catering at work? So if I go to weddings, contact us, contact me. So I'm going to show you what's happening in the back end now. I'll minimize the screen. Okay, so in Pardot, because I'm 2 different people, respectively, I'm a B2B contact, and then I have my B2C version as well. Pardot creates two different person records to track the different interaction. And here you have my score as well of how engaged I am with the brand and how much activity I've been doing. If I refresh this, the score will increase with the activity that I've just done and the name change I made. So here, if I refresh this, my product interest here changed from office to wedding, even though I was on my work email, on my work browser. So what's actually happening in the back end? I'm going to show you dynamic content and how it's set up and how easy it is to do. This is the dynamic content page, and if I go to edit, you can see this is the default variation that will be shown when a viewer is not a prospect, so they haven't converted yet, or when no variations match below. And actually, it's, like I said, it's very easy to go in and change. You've got all the tools here to make the changes to the content. And you can even enter variable tags that will pull in the prospect information, such as first name, if you really want to up the game. And then you have the different variations as well. And you can actually add up to 25 variations here. So that's all very well, but how did I get these field values, these variation field values to change in the first place? Well, there's two ways you can do that, and I implemented both of them just to show you in this demo. The first version is a custom redirect, and I know it sounds complicated, but all it is that you're making a link trackable. So you're basically saying to Pardot, this link, my wedding page, I want to, you put an action on top of it. So when this link is clicked, I want the field product interest to change to wedding. And then you get this link. And from that, you can see who has clicked the link and when they last clicked it. If you don't have access to your backend to implement this on your web pages or wherever you want to put your dynamic content, another suggestion is using page actions, which does the same, but just based on someone viewing the page rather than clicking on a link. So how do you then automate the whole process? You can do that, but also if you want to bring in other actions such as the sales actions such as assignment, you can use Pardot's flagship feature called Engagement Studio. And what this is it visualizes the campaign, nurturing campaign. And here you can see different actions such as add to a Salesforce campaign, assign via an active assignment rule, or create a task. This gives marketers the power to connect with sales and to automate the process, the lead handover process. Then you've also got triggers. So you listen out for something, for an example, an email open, and a rule that, for example, if the score is over 50, send them this way. If not, send them the other way. And then I can show you this. For example, did they look at the office's webpage? Yes, they did. Okay, so we're going to assign them to via the active assignment rule. In this case, it went to Charlie. Did they get assigned? Yes. Send them the follow-up email. Did they click on it? Yes. Adjust the score by 50. But as you can see, if they didn't, then they would get a follow-up email. So how to maximize dynamic content? The best thing about it is that you can put it on your website, landing pages, forms, or emails. On landing pages, this also includes your email preference centers or unsubscribe pages if you really want to tailor the message before they unsubscribe to try rein them back in and convince them not to unsubscribe. This is a really powerful use case of it. Today I showed you dynamic content based on field values, but you can also do it based on scores. And I'm not sure if we have we have people dialed in today who aren't marketers, but we have something called the marketing funnel, which shows, which describes how prospects move through the funnel as they engage more with your product and become more and more ready to buy. So this is where scoring comes in, because it's an indicator of how ready someone is to buy based on how much they've been browsing your website, the emails they've been opening, the forms they've submitted, things like that. So if someone has a score between, say, 0 and 50, then they'll be at the top of the funnel at the beginning of their buying process with you. And as their score increases, they'll go further down the funnel. And you can set dynamic content, for example, based on a score of 0 to 50, which will be the very top level educational stuff about your brand. And as it increases, you can say if the score is over 300, then we're going to start sending them a lot more detailed content. So are there any questions? Have any questions arisen? Okay, sure. So if there aren't any questions now, then you can follow up with us on these email addresses with your questions. And we'll be sending a follow-up email as well to everyone who attended today. So yes, these email addresses will be available to you in the follow-up email. And Philippe just sent his email address as well, so you can copy that. Great, well, thanks everyone for dialing in, and I hope this has been useful. Like I said, it's a great way to personalize content, save time, and just streamline the administration of marketing assets, which is something we all want to do. So thanks again, and speak to you soon.